morning, friends in the internet lands. My name is Jamelyn Gray. I am one of the producers of You've Got a Thing, president and co-founder of the Milwaukee Theater Alliance, artistic director of the Constructivists, and welcome. Normally this is a nice little interview program where some company or some artist has a thing going on in the community, and we interview them to find out more about what that's about. But nobody was available today. I think that's just one of those things of where, during the height of the pandemic, everybody was working from home and everybody could take, a few minutes out of their day, take an early lunch or whatever it is to talk about whatever art thing they have going on. And, now that things have gone back a little bit to normal, I say that with some reservation, lots of reservation actually. It's harder to get a guest live at 11 a.m. But we're working on it. That's what we do. But for today, I think I'm just gonna talk a little bit about what's going on in the community. And because really, I don't know if you've seen this program before or whatnot, but at the end of our interview, I don't know if, I think a lot of people just like watch the interview and then drop off. They're like, hey, that's all I needed to know. But at the end of the interview, we do go through sort of the current events of the next week that are happening, all the shows or auditions or anything that's happening around the community. So if you haven't stuck around for that, you should try that sometime. And it's just a really great quick little thing that you can find out what's going on, hop over to get tickets. There are, websites and whatever at the end that you can check out to go and see something, which is the whole idea of this program. And so, yeah, so that's what we got. But I'm gonna welcome a friend because that's what nobody likes to watch me talk about crap for 20 minutes. So I'm very insecure about shit. So I have to bring people on all the time. So I'm gonna just go ahead and right now welcome our favorite fill-in host, guest, all the things extraordinaire, Katie Cummings from Pink Umbrella Theater. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Winging it. We like that. I mean, improv is part of the community. So, like,
right.
You gotta. And speaking of which, the reason that I brought Katie on is because, and we've talked about it for a few weeks already, but Pink has some registration going on right now. So we'll just cover that right away because I like to do those things. You all have your winter classes going on, of which improv is part of the deal, is it not? Can you just talk about, and particularly for the person out there who hasn't watched all past 70 episodes or what it is, about Pink Umbrella a little bit, and then talk about your classes?
Absolutely. So, sure. I just came off of like a really great meeting, artistic meeting. Sorry, which is why I'm late. But
awesome.
there is an arts group in town that is diving into making their art available and accessible to all. And we just had this really great brainstorming session. So my brain is kind of on fire from that. But it's really cool. So just pay attention to what's going on in this city, because people are doing it. People are thinking about others who might have sensory sensitivities or mobility issues or those kinds of things, which is what Pink Umbrella Theater is all about. But I'm really just excited about the meeting that I just got done with. I'm excited for their organization to embark on this journey. into making their art more accessible. So, so cool. So Pink Umbrella, I'll talk about us for a minute. So our mission is to amplify the voices of actors and artists who identify with a disability. So we were established in 2018. We have been thriving and surviving throughout the pandemic. It's very hard, I think, for those of us who are on this call. Like, we know what it's like to start a theater company, and then to do it in the middle of a pandemic is, I don't know, there's just an added extra element there, but we are always moving forward. So our classes actually start at age 8. And then we have different age groups, 8 to 13, 13 to 18, and then 18 and above. And to Jamelin's point earlier, we absolutely do have an improv class taught by the incomparable Beth Lewinsky. She is brilliant. If you don't know her, you should just
my Lord.
Just come on Wednesday night.
Hilarious human beings in Milwaukee, I swear to God.
And the nicest too. Like, she's just the sweetest on this earth. So Wednesday nights we have Beth hanging out with us, teaching us improv. So like everybody, we are being flexible. Our online classes start February, and then our in-person classes start in March. So online, we've got classes on Mondays and Wednesdays. If you want to come hang out with us just on Monday nights, we do a laughter yoga class at 7:00. That's free to everybody. You come and tell jokes, and Andrew just sit there and laugh, and it's hysterical. But we've got an acting class, a puppetry class on Mondays starting in February for 13 to 18-year-olds. We've got what we're calling an acting celebration, because it's time that we just bring some joy into the room on Monday nights for adults, and that starts at 5:30. And then Wednesdays, we've got an acting and motion class. So we're working with young people, 8 to 13-year-olds on Wednesdays in the evenings. And so we're getting up and we're moving as much as possible, doing some acting through movement. And then that improv class that we mentioned before with Beth is at 5:30, and that's open to all adults. Now, our focus is obviously to work with people who identify with a disability, but we are an inclusive theater company, which means that if you want to come hang out with us, come hang out with us. Like, we welcome you. And then March, we've got some stuff brewing for, some acting classes and musical theater classes that start in March. And we're at the Ascent Wellness Center, which is down by the Fiserv this winter. We're kind of all over the place. I don't know that we've ever.
Well, no, and I think that's great. I mean, they're traditionally, people are like, oh, be in one location and so that people know where to find you. But I think particularly, I would say for the disabled community, it's better to travel around for accessibility. I'm not sure how you feel about that, but that's the thing that springs to my mind.
Yeah, I mean, we're happy, right? Like, to be in and about in all of the different communities here in Milwaukee and the surrounding area. So yeah, we're, the other day I was lamenting about this COVID, and I think it's tough, right? Like,
we're still lamenting,
but like, theater needs people, and people need theater, and we just got to keep pushing forward to make all that happen. So we're happy to do our part and keep reinventing the wheel a little bit, and trying some new things. I think we figured out Zoom theater pretty well. Like, I feel like it's going to become its own genre. Like, 100 years from now, people will be like, Zoom theater was created out of the pandemic, right? Like, they'll be professors.
The great pandemic of 2020, 2021. Yeah.
And young people learned how to act with masks, right? Like, it'll be like some kind of Walter Cronkite documentary.
Oh, for sure. Art in the pandemic. Oh, for sure.
Exactly.
Oh, I was going to say that just to the point of where you were talking about inclusivity. I do think, as the parent of a disabled person, there is still a lot of stigma about disability in general. I mean, I remember being at, parks when Aurora was little, and, little kids don't have editing buttons. And so, you would get that thing of, what's wrong with her? And I think that Pink is a really great opportunity for those who maybe don't have access in their family life or surrounding circle, for persons with a disability, to include your kids in that environment, to really, as a teaching moment, as a moment to, because I heard a statistic at one point in time that I don't remember if this was genetic disorders or just disabled persons in general, that it's 3% of the population, which is, and this was, this was a bit ago, so we might have really broadened the spectrum on what we consider disability. I was thinking about anxiety and depression in my own life, and how that's affected my progress as an artist and human being. But it was 3%. Regardless, it's an incredibly small number. I know lots of people who don't have a disabled person in their immediate circle, so I think that in terms of really, eliminating stigmas, I think Pink has a really great opportunity for that.
Thanks. I actually just looked up that it's 61 million people in America identify with a disability, which translates to 1 in 4.
Wow.
And I do think that I just looked this up the other day because I was heated about something, which we won't go into, but we don't need to do that here. But I just looked it up last week. So it's 1 in 4 people identify with a disability in the United States. And I think that what you're getting at, Jamelyn, is the idea of normalizing, right?
Yeah.
Normalizing physical, visible, invisible disability, because it does, some of the mental health issues that we right now, all of us are kind of dealing with. Maybe some of it is brand new and some of it is newly diagnosed. Some of it is self-diagnosed. It is debilitating, right? And that's what disability is at any point in time that some of us are permanently disabled, some of us are temporarily disabled, some of us will never be disabled, but those, it happens, it could happen at any point in time to anybody, right? And so normalizing, which is, it's kind of like what we're trying to do in our storytelling, is to change that narrative, right? And show what we can do, show that we are part of the community, and show that we're not acting, we put it like, not in spite of our disability, but because of it, right? And it makes us stronger, different, unique actors and artists, right? Because we have a point of view too. So so I hear you, right? And I hope that that's where Pink finds their place within this artistic community, is just changing the narrative, right? Who looks and what looks like a hero, and how, and the romantic lead, and all of those things, right? Which I think is really important to share and promote within the artistic community, because it has been pretty closed. Those doors have been pretty closed to anybody who was not a triple threat, And so kind of change, putting, what's the words I'm looking for? Like just switching that, just switching that up and twisting it around and doing good art, like it's just do good art. And
I mean, it's really like, dismantling the system is really what it is, and breaking traditions, and yeah, and I'm game for that.
Dismantling the system,
smashing all the things.
Smashing.
So, but you can go to Pink Umbrella Theater, TER.org, to sign up for those classes. And I just encourage people to check out the company and understand, because you are one of few companies in the United States that's the focus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you spend a lot of time with, theater for young people, and, all of those types of meetings and groups and whatnot. So all the inside, but it's a relatively new concept, and definitely a needed one. I would be happy to see that in every city.
Yeah.
Like, every theater in every city, but that's just me. Ernest Shackleton Loves Me did open. They got over their COVID scenarios that everybody's going through. And so they opened. Joanna was on 2 weeks ago that was talking about this show. Super interesting. I'm so game to watch this. I've been reading some of the quotes and things that are coming out on the medias, and like things like quirky and words like that, which I'm all about. So I'm very excited to see that. And Joanna, who said that we can do anything, thanks Joanna, is the amazing director of that show, also a co-creator of You've Got a Thing. So we are all about all of that. Always, Jillian is always if you need to feel good about life, go and talk to Jillian. It's really what it is. I mean, just
very true.
Just a great person who really cares about people. Kids from Wisconsin has auditions. We have this on our calendar now where they're going to be. I mean, if you don't know Kids from Wisconsin, my gut instinct is to say you must not be from Wisconsin. Is really what that says to me. Just a great organization, really, that makes people feel good about life. They Kids from Wisconsin also is, we did an event with them last summer that was a Milwaukee Arts Showcase, and we're going to be doing that again this summer, which is very exciting. Hopefully Pink will perform there. Hopefully the Constructivists will perform there. And so I know, I know, but if you're a serious singer or instrumentalist, they look for both singer dancers and people to play the instruments live. Ages 15 to 20. I would very much look into this. My mother said it was the best experience of her entire life when she did it back in 19. Go to kidsfromwisconsin.org to check that out.
Jamelyn,
yeah.
were you in show choir when you were in high school?
No, because singing in public makes me very afeared. No, I mean, getting back to that anxiety and depression thing, it's really made me go down my own path about how debilitating my own mental illnesses have been across my lifetime. So, I mean, I've had conversations with Joanna, like, I'm going to show up to that voice lab someday and like start to get over that. Mm-hmm. It's very much something I sing to Aurora all the time. It's, it's why Aurora sings all the time, because, we sing Let It Go and all the Disney stuff. But I can't, and dancing was even more. I would, my heart just like, and so then you can't even think straight. You can't keep the steps straight. You can't do any of that stuff. So I was like, yeah, I like dark, regular theater.
I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go the polar opposite of show choir. I think any kid who was in show choir or who is in show choir right now, like, would love Kids from Wisconsin. It is. It's that, like, if that's your thing, go audition, like 100%.
Absolutely.
That's why I asked.
And the new executive director, Michael Sander, I mean, like, an exuberant human being is all I can say about that. And you two went to school together. Was that the deal?
Yeah. We were in show choir together.
Right? Oh, you were in show choir.
We did it. We had costume changes, full-on costume changes and everything. Like, It's probably stuff that you couldn't do today with the show choir, right? Like we were quite literally changing behind flats, boys and girls and everybody in between behind the set. It was back in the 90s. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
all right. That was all right back then.
yeah, yeah.
We
Totally.
we know
That
better now. I
that
don't think the kids from
those
Wisconsin is
things,
doing that. I'm not saying they got it under control. They are doing all the right safety things.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, that's just to say that he does have experience.
yeah, yeah,
He's been through the whole thing, and so I think he's a fantastic
they're good people over there.
human. They're very
The whole staff, yeah, good
yeah.
people.
We had them on a few weeks back. Again, go back and look at all those old You've Got a Thing episodes, and you will find out all you need to know about everything in the community, theater wise. Oh my lord, let's try to find the right things here. Lisa Caesar was just on last week talking about this No Studios Artist Grant, because now they're starting to focus on it's a quarterly thing, and now they're focusing on the performing arts. So if you're an artist, or collective, or any of those things, you should really check this out. They're offering up to $10,000. I mean, go and watch last week's episode with Lisa Caesar, because there's so much good in this grant. What I love most about it is that it's really putting the focus on individuals rather than organizations. I mean, we all have our organizations, but something that like the Theater Alliance is trying to do too is start incorporating individual artists. Now that we've established sort of the company membership, to really start pulling in individual artists, because there are a lot of artists who aren't associated with organizations. So check this out. And the jury of creative professionals too is people from outside of Wisconsin. So that's very cool to get that reach as well for you and your project or whatever it is. But you can go to nostudios.com to check that out. Always have to give my shout out to Imagine, because they give us this platform to use, which I've said a million times, makes my life so much easier. But also, big thing about the MTA is theater advocacy. And Imagine they're sort of like the major umbrella organization of arts in Milwaukee. It's visual theater, all of the things, music, all of it. And one thing that we all are interested in is getting more money for the arts in Wisconsin. As we rank 49th in state funding, we need, patrons and people who are, lovers of the arts to talk to their representatives about how important the arts are in their lives. And Imagine makes that super easy by just going to imaginemke.org/act, and you can copy and paste stuff and send it to your representative, and you don't even have to think of words to say. You just copy and send it. So check them out. I'm just really grateful for all the people over there, just David and Mac and Lindsay and Antoine, and all of them are the size of the hearts over there are really awesome. And just a kind reminder that we are going into Black History Month, February. So, do what you can to educate yourself on the history of it. I'm going to, do my due diligence as well. We went through the Milwaukee Theater Standards process, and that was right after the murder of George Floyd. Katie was actually the one who said, "Let's get it done. Like, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it." And so we did it. And there's still so much more work to do. There's still so much more work to do. But I was really happy to hear that Biden is trying to stick to his guns and make sure that a Black woman is on the Supreme Court.
Good. It's about time.
That was, everybody else's point as well. So that's what I got. That's what I got here of things that are going on right now and this week and all of it.
Can we bring up bring up something that's happening in February?
Sure.
Just speaking to changing the face of theater here in Milwaukee, the diversity generals. Are you hanging out?
Yeah, I said we want to be there, so yeah, I'm on top of that as well.
So All In, I know you're not prepared for this. So All In Productions is hosting. So everything's on their website. I think it's like allinproductions.org or .com. And it's on February 21st. But you can submit virtually too. So in person and online diversity generals, they've got a full list of like who is encouraged to attend those diversity generals. And I think that this is the third, fourth year, maybe for those, maybe longer. But I'll put in a plug for that. We're hanging out with them. We actually have
because it's something that you can apply for, like it's something that you can submit for right now. So it's allin-mke.com.
There we go.
That's that. And then there's just a link right at the top for the diversity generals. Yeah. And yep. Yeah, normally I just do the what's coming up this week thing, or current events. This is a current event because they're currently accepting submissions for that.
Yeah, you just got me thinking. It just sparked with the going into Black History Month, right? Like what is changing in the city and how we're trying to change the face of theater, right? What it looks like. So there's a lot of people working on that. So no reason to not shout it out and say, hey, go audition. We'll see you there.
Absolutely. Milwaukee is an incredibly diverse city, but hasn't traditionally been reflected on the stages. And so all of us are trying to be more mindful and thoughtful and doing the work to have the stages reflect the diversity of Milwaukee. It's important, representation is important. Representation is important as it comes to pink. So, it behooves the theater community or arts communities to show the way. I mean, the arts have always sort of been a little bit ahead of the curve of society, right? The thing that always pops into my head is how it's it'll age me. It's not 90210. It was the other show. The one with it was the soap opera one where all the couples, like all the people were living in the apartment building in, I cannot think of the show. But Doug, wasn't it Doug who was the gay character? And I think that was the first LGBT kiss on television. Do you remember this at all? It's not 90210. It was the one, but I think it was like
So not Three's Company? Somewhere in between there?
It was somewhere in between. It debuted after 90210. But I think about how, because I've listened to podcasts and things about how that event at the time was like, oh my God. And now television is, way beyond what we had thought, but they do, put, or Ellen coming out or any of these things. Those are the arts, leading that charge, and the whole idea of representation as well. So yeah, it's about time we show the full range and beauty of humanity.
Brilliant. Let's end there.
Yeah. Oh. I think this is the first time we've ever ended at like the half-hour mark.
It's because as Michael put it earlier, we're winging it today. We're winging
Yeah. So go out and see some theater of the things that are happening. Make sure you check their COVID guidelines before you do that. But I guarantee you're going to need to bring vaccination card or test and wear a mask because we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Greek letter O. So, and thanks for coming on again, Katie, and letting us know about Pink's classes. And I don't know, we'll see you again.
See you soon.
And we'll see you all next week on You've Got a thing.